We're only 3 months into the new year and it's already shaping up to be one of the best yet for gamers. We know more now about the Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and PlayStation VR than ever before. PS4 and Xbox One finally have a filled out game library, and if you buy into the rumors and speculation, Nintendo will have a new console on store shelves by the end of the year. It's a lot to take in, certainly, and no one would blame you if you're a bit apprehensive about a new console from the Big N. For better or worse, Nintendo has been tight-lipped about the console, its specs, and what titles we can expect on the follow-up to the Wii U. A lot of what we do know comes from third-party sources, developers, marketing material, and analysts who say they've seen the console firsthand. If you're like us, I'm sure you're hungry for any morsel of information. But before we dive too deep down the rabbit hole, understand that most of what is said here is speculation and conjecture rather than hard and fast facts. So Nintendo, if you're watching, please don't be mad. Great, now that we've got the disclaimer out of the way, we can talk about the good stuff. The Nintendo NX, as far as we know, will be different entirely from both the Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. Former Nintendo president Satoru Iwata called it a console handheld hybrid, which has been confirmed in a report by the Wall Street Journal, who claims that development kits have already started to go out. The NX therefore might come in two parts, a home unit and a mobile unit that you can take anywhere. As for the hardware inside the system, the same report claimed that the current developer kits were close in power to the Xbox One and PS4, but that the chips might change before the final version is unveiled later this year. Early patents make it appear as though the handheld unit will resemble the Wii U's tablet, with a notable difference in the shoulder buttons that will now scroll instead of click. Another patent Nintendo recently filed showed a more standard control pad shape, with a touchpad on the front. The front touchpad can be customized by developers to show whatever buttons fit the action on screen. It can be changed at the drop of Mario's cap. What that means, in theory, is that the controller's touchscreen will display contextual controls. Instead of pressing the A button to jump, you might see a jump button on the screen that might switch to a fist icon when you get into a fight. Seeing clear, well-labeled prompts on the second screen might help younger players transitioning from mobile games and could enable developers to provide gamers more unique ways to control action on screen. With hardware pretty well mapped out, it's software that is really giving gamers and journalists the slip. One idea early on in development was that the NX might run a Nintendo-ized version of Android. That idea, however, was quickly dismissed as crazy talk. What's more likely is a continuation of Nintendo's proprietary OS, similar to what we've seen on the Wii U and 3DS. That means more Mii's, eShop titles, and potentially bad matchmaking. Its advantage at this stage is its possibly great new titles, like a new entry in the Legend of Zelda franchise, or the third Mario Galaxy game that we've been patiently waiting for the past 6 years. However, while the rumor mill has been churning on what games we'll get at launch, the only two titles to be outed as possible launch games by their publisher are Dragon Quest X and Dragon Quest XI. Another rumor we've heard is that Super Smash Bros. Could make an appearance, as could another entry in the Mario Kart series. A standard Mario platformer is almost par for the course at this point and can almost be counted as a guaranteed launch title. But what we'd really like to see is Link's Green Tunic on next-gen hardware. Outside of first-party titles and JRPGs, a marketing partner for Nintendo and notorious informant named Dr. Sirkin Toto recently tweeted that Bandai Namco is currently developing several NX titles. That cryptic message could mean any number of things. However, thanks to Nintendo's recent partnership with a fighting firm to develop Pokken Tournament, that most likely means either a port of the aforementioned fighter or a sequel with an updated roster of characters. Either would be nice, obviously, but the best option would be a new IP entirely. Nintendo knows how to make great systems. Just look at the Nintendo 64 or SNES, two of the greatest consoles of all time. And the Nintendo NX could be the system that brings the Big N back into contention with Microsoft and Sony. So how long until you can own one yourself? Chances are good Nintendo will use this year's E3 to show off the hardware and first batch of games with a late autumn or early spring launch date. Now, that date might change if Nintendo opts to release one more big title on the Wii U before pressing on, but lagging Wii U sales have likely put a fire under Nintendo to bring out a system sooner rather than later. Should Nintendo choose 2016 to be the year it releases the NX, you can bet that we'll be there to cover it. For more news, reviews, features, and everything Nintendo, head to TechRadar.com. Thanks for watching.